In this video, I'm going to demo how to create a simple form. The first thing you want to do is create a database connection. Click on Connections, then click on New Connection, and choose one of the supported database types, for example, MySQL connection. Give the connection any name you want. Type the name of the server, port number, a username and password. Then click here to select a database and then click OK to make a connection. I've already made a connection here. So now let me show you the next step. After you make a connection, the next step is to build a query. Click on New Query. To create a form, you have to use the Query Builder option. I'm going to create a query called Employees. I'm going to pick the connection that I already created and click Continue. This is the Query Builder. On the right side, you have Add Main Table and Add Related Table buttons. The Related Table button is currently disabled, but the Main Table button is enabled. Click on Add Main Table. The table that you want to add is the table that contains the records that you want to edit in the form. In my case, I want to create a form based on the employee table, so I click Employee. I'm going to display all of these columns in the form, and then click Add Table. Once you add the main table, the Add Main Table button becomes disabled. But the Add Related Table button is enabled, and when you click that, lookup tables that are related to the currently selected table will be displayed. I want to display the department details of the employee, so I click on Department. I want to display the department name and the location of the department. The next thing I want to add is the employee's manager, so I click Add Related Table again. You can see that employee has a relationship to employee via the manager number column. So I click on that. I'm going to change the alias because when the form is generated, it will generate default labels for fields automatically, based on the column aliases. So I'm going to change the alias here to Manager. I select Manager First Name. The alias has been changed here to Manager First Name. I'm going to also select Manager Last Name and click OK. Now if I test the query, I can make sure that the query is working. If you want, you can add a where clause here if you want to limit the number of records that's brought to the client. I'm going to keep things simple for this demo, so I'm not going to add a where clause or query parameters. Click OK to save the query. Now that I have created the query, I can build a form based on this query. Click on Forms, then click New Form. Type a name for the form, then select a query, then press Continue. A default form is automatically created for you. These are the fields in the main table. As you can see, default labels have been generated for me automatically. You can see that some of the fields are disabled. These fields are disabled because they came from the lookup table, not from the main table. Only the fields of the main table, which in this example is the employee table, can be edited using the form. Fields from the lookup table can be displayed, but they cannot be edited, and that's the reason they are disabled. Now I'm going to lay out the fields a little better and make the form look a little bit nicer. To do that, we have to switch to Design Mode. Click on Settings, then on Design Mode. I'm going to first add a title for the form, which is going to be Employee. Next, I'm going to add a section, which is Personal Info section. I'm going to move the section label down. I'm going to shrink the employee number field. As you shrink the field, you can see you get some snap points. This is the 3/4 snap point. This is the 2/3 snap point. 1/2 snap point. 1/3 snap point. And 1/4 snap point. I'm going to leave it as 1/4. Under personal info, I have first name. Last name is displayed somewhere else. I want to display them together on the same row, so I move that here. Below that, I want to display the date of birth. I am going to drag that and display it below name. The label is not great here. The O should be lowercase. Let me change that to lowercase. Okay, now that looks good. Now I want to display the social security number. Click on that, and drag it up, and display it on the same row as the date of birth. The next item I want to display is the address. So I click on that, and drag it up, and display it just below date of birth. On the next row, I want to display city, state, and zip. I can move them all to the same row here. City, state, and zip. Now I can drag them together. When I drag the first item vertically, they all move together. Now I am going to reduce the width of state because it's going to be just 2 characters. Quarter is more than enough. Zip can be reduced also. I'm going to reduce state even more. Zip looks fine. I'm going to let city take up the remaining width. I am happy with how that looks. Now I'm going to add a section for employment information. Add a section. Employment info. And click OK. I'm going to drag that down to just below city, state, and zip. I want to move the hire date on the same line as job. Salary and commission can be on the same row. Manager number, manager first name, and last name can be on the same row. I'm going to move the location to the same row as department. I am going to move the department name and location to the same row as department number. Now I'm happy with the layout of the form. I'm going to change the background to blue. The form now looks pretty reasonable. What I haven't shown you in this demo is how to do client-side validation. I haven't shown how to supply available values, for example, for state. I also haven't shown you how to limit the number of records fetched from the database. The query this form is based on does not have a query parameter. That means all records in the database table will be brought to the client side. Usually you don't want that. You can use a query parameter to bring specific records into the client side, instead of all records in the table. We will demo those features in future videos. Thank you for watching.